Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us in London for the film festival. Maybe you could begin with a brief introduction, tell us a bit about the film and what audiences can expect when they watch it.
Hi, my name is Litwak. I'm the writer, director, and producer of Molli and Max in the Future.
I am Ben Murphy, and I am the producer of Molli and Max.
That's right. One of the producers. And Molli and Max in the Future is a sci-fi romantic comedy. We kind of describe it as When Harry Met Sally in Space, and it follows two people kind of meeting over the course of their life, but kind of living in this everything but the kitchen sink sci-fi universe.
Tell us a bit about the inspiration behind it. Where on earth did you get the idea for this kind of genre mashup, I guess?
Yeah, so I had been working on another film, and then a lot of the pieces of that puzzle were coming into focus, and then COVID hit, and suddenly that project fell apart, and I was thinking a lot about how there's a lot of stuff in your life that kind of influences you that can determine very big things in your life that you have no control over. And in that period of early COVID, I was rewatching a lot of my favorite films because nobody was going anywhere or doing anything, and I rewatched When Harry Met Sally, and I think it's a masterpiece, but it was really interesting watching it during that time because it felt very much of that time in the 90s, and it's great because it's so character driven, but it doesn't talk about race or gender or politics or all of these, the internet, or all of these things that really take up a lot of our energy and a lot of our time. And they also don't talk about their careers at all throughout that film. And so I wanted to kind of take that story and update it for today in a world where it feels very overwhelming to be alive, and the news is constantly stressful and anxious. And I think taking that kind of character-driven romance and then putting it in a world that we've never seen before, and using these science fiction and fantasy metaphors and allegories to kind of express those feelings.
Did you take inspiration from other filmmakers or other films? How did that all come together in terms of the genre mashup?
Yeah, definitely. We looked at a lot of very classic rom-coms like Annie Hall and Manhattan, and When Harry Met Sally, obviously, and a lot of Nora Ephron films and Rob Reiner films, and that was kind of the romantic comedy side of things. And then on the science fiction side of things, Blade Runner, Metropolis by Fritz Lang. The world is very much like kind of a Futurama type world, or Rick and Morty, where anything is kind of possible, and you use science fiction as a way to kind of explore different stories, and aren't really held fast and true to a bunch of rules. So the other big one is probably Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you have this kind of sense of humor to it and playfulness that is really kind of playing with absurdism.
And how did you decide on your cast, and how did you work with them to achieve your vision?
Yeah, we had a really amazing casting director named Kate Geller, and she's also a producer on the film. I'd been a fan of Zascha Mammon's work for a very long time, and seen her in a bunch of different TV shows, and I knew that I wanted someone that was immediately funny and interesting and had opinions and would bring their perspective to the project. And Kate was the one who put Aristotle in front of me, and he is also very naturally funny and interesting, but also a very different personality than Zascha. And so I wanted, I think when you're casting a romantic comedy, you want to find people that have enough overlap that there's chemistry, but not too much overlap that they feel like the exact same person. And so finding that contrast between them and finding that balance is really important. And so we also had 5 days of rehearsal, and we didn't do those 5 days all in a row. We would do 1 day of rehearsal, read through a bunch of the script. I'd go home and rewrite scenes based off of those rehearsals, then come back, reread it again, move on to other scenes, do that again. And it was a great way to kind of develop and test things out with each other in the script, and get us all comfortable with one another.
In terms of, the look and feel of it, how did you kind of pull off the very sort of retro aesthetic in that sense?
Yeah, we spent 18 months building out all the practical effects on the film, and about 90% of the visual effects on the film were done by myself and the DP Zach Stoltzfus, and we built everything by hand. We shot it all in some of it in my living room, other parts in a studio, and then we put that up on a big screen TV, essentially an LED stage, and then filmed the actors in front of it. So it was a little bit of everything: rear screen projection, LED volume, all kind of built around this practical effects aesthetic, and just tried to keep everything as real as possible.
What do you hope people will take away, and how does it feel to to have it here in London.
It feels so great to be here and to share it with an international audience. And I think I hope that people enjoy it and it makes them think and that it's memorable and that they tell their friends about it.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Really enjoy your time here.
Thanks a lot.
lot.